which runs WordPress.com, correct? We've got Tony Schneider, CEO of Automatic, and Dharmesh Mehta, who's the Director of Product Management for Windows Live.
That's correct.
OK, so what are you guys going to announce today?
Yep, so let me go into a couple things. So I'm going to start out, and then Tony will jump in. So I'm Dharmesh Mehta, Director of Product Management for Windows Live. And on behalf of the entire Windows Live team, I'm really excited to be here today in front of all of you, talking about a great partnership that we think will be very valuable for consumers. So this partnership, I like to think back to the last job I had before Microsoft, which was I was actually the CEO of a startup out in Boston. And so being able to make this announcement here with all of you is particularly meaningful to me. Now, when I was the CEO of the startup, we used to spend a bunch of time thinking about what is it we want to deliver, and in doing that, how do we balance how we can take advantage of a lot of great offerings and services from our partners versus what do we need to build ourselves. And in Windows Live, we actually take the same approach. So before we get to the news, I want to spend a few minutes just talking about how we develop products. And so it all really starts first with the customer. And who is the customer? What are their needs? Where are there gaps in the marketplace? And how are those needs changing today and into the future? And with that mindset of these customers and what's going on with them, deciding what we want to deliver in terms of scenarios. And within that, what do we build ourselves? And how do we partner with other great companies to make that happen? And for us, this is really a three-ingredient recipe. The first ingredient is what we're going to build ourselves. And there, it's the intersection of where do we see gaps in the marketplace? Where are there holes, things other people aren't providing? And then what are our strengths? What are the unique things we can bring to bear? And as we combine those, how do we create unique value propositions? Things where we have a point of view, something we want to deliver that we think is valuable to consumers, but we don't see other people providing. The second ingredient is that there are thousands and thousands of great, amazing companies, like all of yourselves, that are out there. And we think it's important for people to be able to connect their experience in Windows Live with what all of you are building. And the only way that's going to happen is with powerful web standards. So we spend a lot of time helping drive the creation as well as the adoption of these standards. And so this is just a sampling of some of the amazing companies we get to work with because of those standards. The third thing, though, is if you look at where consumers are spending huge amounts of time online, whether those are things from Windows Live, things like Hotmail and Messenger and SkyDrive, or amazing services from other companies, things like the top social networks like Facebook and MySpace, or professional networks like LinkedIn, or the hugest place to share videos like YouTube. Because of the massive amount of time people are spending on these sites, we think it's important that we more deeply integrate with them to give you a really great experience. It's what lets us do things like take Messenger and make it the ultimate people app that helps you bring together these updates from Facebook and MySpace and LinkedIn and give you one place to connect with your friends and chat with them and comment. It's what lets us give you that ultimate address book that, again, you've got one view of your friends and all the different ways to interact with them. Taking an app like Photo Gallery, and we make it just as seamless to be able to share photos up on SkyDrive as if you want to take them and push them out to Facebook or Flickr or YouTube or other great sites. Taking something like Hotmail and those millions of YouTube URLs that we're all passing around, recognizing those inline, turning them into an inline video player, giving you a great experience so you'll engage with YouTube even more. And so with that, I'd like to turn it over to Tony Schneider to talk about yet another great partnership and how we're connecting these leading online services.
Thank you, Dharmesh. I'm excited to be here today to talk about WordPress.com and Windows Live. WordPress has been on a roll. 8.5% of all the websites on the internet are powered by WordPress these days. It's an amazing number. That's 26 million people using WordPress to create websites and blogs. One of them, our very own TechCrunch.com. About half of those sites, about 13 million, we host on WordPress.com, where people attract an audience of over 250 million monthly readers. Now let's talk about what we're announcing today. Automatic and Microsoft have entered a partnership to make WordPress.com the default blogging platform for Windows Live. Starting today, when a Windows Live user creates a blog, that blog will be powered by WordPress.com. That blogger will also be able to connect their blog back into Windows Live using Messenger Connect. That way, anytime they publish something new to their blog, automatically gets sent back into Windows Live to their friends on their Messenger Friend Connect list. We've also been working with Microsoft to create a migration service to take the tens of millions of Windows Live Spaces users and move them over to WordPress.com. Spaces bloggers are able to pack up their blog, move it over to our system, and then keep blogging using WordPress on WordPress.com. We've worked really hard to make that transition as smooth as possible. The migration tool is available as of today, but the migration window will be several months long, so people will have a lot of time to move over. We're proud that Microsoft has picked us as their blogging partner, and we're going to work really hard to create an excellent blogging experience for Windows Live users for years to come. Thanks.
And so I would just reiterate what Tony said, and it's been great to see our two companies working together, taking a partnership approach and really focusing on how do we deliver that best customer experience, as well as upgrading those 30 million Spaces customers into WordPress.com.
So there are 30 million people on Windows Spaces that are using Windows Spaces as their blogging platform, and you're transitioning them over to WordPress.com.
Yep.
And how long will you continue to support Windows Spaces as a blogging platform?
So Windows Live Spaces, we really think about this in any time we have a product and we want to upgrade that product. When you have a new version, you want to have some kind of period of migration so people can take their content, decide if they want to upgrade. The same thing you do with operating systems or products like Office or any other product. And what we've chosen is the best blogging experience we can get customers is WordPress.com. And so we're going to give Spaces customers about 6 months during which they can take their content and choose to upgrade and move to WordPress.com. It'll be a great upgrade.
And how many WordPress.com blogs are there now? I just want to get a sense of the magnitude of
There's 13 million blogs and about 250 million people visiting those blogs.
13 million blogs. So you're going to almost triple the number of blogs that WordPress.com hosts?
Now, just to get the data, 30 million Spaces customers, I would compare to that 260 million people. So there's 30 million people visiting Spaces. There's about 7 million blogs.
I got you. OK. That's huge.
Yeah.
So what made you decide to outsource your blogging platform?
Well, I don't think of it as outsourcing so much as just partnering, right? Which is saying, hey, there are things where we have a unique point of view, and we need to build this. And we need to continue to innovate and look for ways to express something that customers aren't getting anywhere else. When we look at blogging, we actually have a similar point of view, and WordPress.com is actually doing an amazing job growing, continuing to invest in it. They've got a bunch of talented people squarely focused on that problem. And we just said the best way to give our customers a great blogging experience is to give them WordPress.com.
And is this a licensing deal? Microsoft is paying you a license fee?
No, this is actually not a financial deal. It's really something where we sat down and said, what's best for the users? So how can we make sure that Live Spaces users can continue to blog and have a great blogging experience? And once they move over to us, they become WordPress customers. And it's really the connection point is through Messenger Connect. And I think this is a cool example of how, in a world of web services, you can do these kinds of things where somebody can transition a user base and still retain a connection with them. And so it's really not, these customers are really now going to be using both of our systems.
Right. And now is Messenger Connect going to become a feature of those blogs? And are you going to integrate Messenger Connect into other WordPress blogs that are not?
Yeah, so starting today, on any WordPress.com blog, people will be able to connect into Windows Live. So not just Windows Live users, but any WordPress blogger can use that connection.
Does that mean, can you use that as a sign-in, or what does that mean?
We call it a publicize option. So we actually have a number of them. So anytime you publish a post, it can automatically go out. And we might do more in the future.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much for sharing the news with us.
Great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
OK. All right, so up next,